Workers here at Valero say they haven't noticed any counterfeit bills, but they say with the high traffic volume, they're always on the lookout, something police say they encourage local businesses to do. Family members say they think the man climbed up one of these columns and into the apartment through the balcony door. Directors with the Ardmore Little Theater say hundreds of people were lined up to see the big musical performance, and Friday night, they expect an even bigger crowd. Police want people to remember to always keep their doors locked and to not keep valuables in their car like their cell phone or a wallet. Not only is the water environmental friendly, but Scott says it saves her about $80 a month on her water bill. Two of the three teens, the 15-year-old and the 16-year-old, were charged with murder in the first degree, and the third teen, the 17-year-old, was charged with accessory to murder after the fact. The two teens, the 15-year-old and 16-year-old, were charged as adults, and the 17-year-old as a youthful offender.
Not video carry me on my mama. I will kill y'all.
Oh, God.
On my mama.
Family members of one of three teens involved in the murder of a 22-year-old ECU student were shocked to hear the charges. 16-year-old Chancey Luna was charged with first-degree murder, as investigators believe he was the one that pulled the trigger, killing Australian student Chris Lane. Luna's mother, Jennifer, burst into tears in the courtroom as the judge read the charges. 15-year-old James Edwards Jr., a passenger in the vehicle, was also charged with first-degree murder.
He didn't pull a trigger for number one. He was just there. You know, instead of charging him with murder, they could have charged him with accessory to the crime.
District Attorney Jason Hicks says in all the years he's lived and worked in Stevens County, he's at a loss for words at this tragedy.
This is not something that we see happen here, and I'm going to do everything that I can to ensure that we see these three thugs pay for what they did to Christopher Lane.
The sister of one of the teens says she's upset over the way the DA portrayed her brother.
He was a good kid. He was sweet to people. He got along with just about everybody. He was in wrestling. He was in football. He had a good heart.
The DA did not say whether the shooting was gang-related, but Edward's sister believes it was. All three teens remain in custody and two were denied bail except for the 17-year-old, and his bail was set for $1 million. The 15-year-old and 16-year-old will appear back in court on October 16th and the 17-year-old on October 2nd. Reporting in Duncan, Stephanie Rivas, K10 News. Tim Warner works for the city of Ardmore and says sometimes his job can be tricky because he's left-handed. For example, when installing a meter, Warner says he has to make sure he's positioned just right.
It's not really anything I think about, it's just what's natural to me.
According to statistics, there's only a small percentage of left-handed people in the United States, and Warner says it's the first time he's heard about International Left-Handers Day.
Every once in a while you hear somebody like you're signing a receipt at the store or you're signing something. Oh, you're a left-hander. I have a niece or I have a grandfather that's a left-hander.
To celebrate Left-Handers Day, the Ardmorite has dedicated today's paper to the lefties, from the way the pages flip and even to the stories. So I decided to see just how hard it was for right-handers and even left-handers to flip through the pages.
Oh, I think this is really fun. Don't you?
I do, yes. I like it.
It's a little different. Being left-handed, I'm accustomed to things being right-handed, so it's definitely a change.
For Gerald Llewellyn, being left-handed in a right-handed world, he says he's had no other choice but to adapt.
I use a mouse with my right hand because I'm accustomed to that. 10 keys are definitely laid out for a right-handed person. You don't think about it, but most doors are right-handed.
Left-Handers Day has been celebrated for over 20 years now, marking today its 21st celebration. In Ardmore, Stephanie Rivas reporting.
Do you like to donate some money to the tornado victims?
9-year-old Gracie Cantrell doesn't have any family or friends she knows in Moore, Oklahoma, but seeing the images of destruction on the news, she knew she wanted to help.
I was watching TV one day with my mom, and I saw the kids in the school, and I thought, Mom, that's really sad. I want to do something to help out.
So she came up with several ideas on how she could help raise money for the victims.
Free snow cone, come on! Woo!
And with the help of her father, who works for Patriot Fords in Purcell, Oklahoma, she came up with a tasty idea. Snow cones here at Jungle Ice usually cost $2, but today Patriot Fords bought everyone's snow cone in exchange for monetary donations that'll go to the victims of more. Car after car came through the Jungle Ice snow cone shop for their free snow cone, but most importantly, they gave donations that will all go to the victims of more.
I was really happy and inspired, and just to think that all this money that we're getting from all these people and how kind it is that we're doing this to give it to these kids. I'm really happy that these people have really done this for us.
More than 400 snow cones were given away, in which Patriot Fords will pay for, and more than $2,000 was raised. Owners of Jungle Ice snow cones say they're donating an extra $500 for the victims. Gracie's mother says she's proud of her daughter.
I'm extremely proud of her. It just makes my heart tender to think that she's thinking of somebody else. So very proud of her.
In Ada, Stephanie Rivas, K10 News.